Welcome to another Aluvian Gaming game review. Today I get all charged up in The Surge. The Surge is a sci-fi action RPG made by Deck13, known previously for Lords of the Fallen, and published by Focus Home Interactive. It's a new entrant into the Soulsborne genre, which means it's a tough, combat-focused game in which you will die frequently and you're just expected to get good. As such, you can expect comparisons to others in the genre, but I feel it does a great job of differentiating itself. The Surge is set in a dystopian world not unlike our own, where due to humans' actions, the world is slowly dying. In steps Creo, a mega corporation with a solution to reverse it all. The game starts you off on a train to your first day on the job at Creo. Once you arrive, you're immediately taken off guard as Warren, the main character, is in a wheelchair. You quickly realize as you proceed to orientation that Creo, through the use of exoskeletons, promises to allow you to walk again. After a brutal scene involving the installation of your exo, you awake to destruction. Something happened. Something bad. Not just to you, or the buildings, but the people too. The Surge does a great job of building a world and telling a story while showing you more than telling you. Every location, audio log, and survivor you come across may have a piece of the puzzle, but no one ever has all the answers. You're constantly trying to figure out what happened. Graphically, The Surge is pretty impressive. They take ruined concrete buildings and metal catwalks and make them look interesting. One section of smashed concrete doesn't look like the other. Yeah, the areas look muted, but they're supposed to, and amazingly, they're not boring. The areas are all well-designed, multi-leveled industrial superstructures that all feel like, before all this happened, had purpose. Nothing really feels just thrown together and random. The detailed environments really immerse you in the science fiction horrorscape they've created. Adding further character, everywhere you look you'll notice details further fleshing out the world or telling a story all their own. From messages smeared in blood on the wall, to a group of insane ex-Creo employees worshipping a vending machine with the word God scrawled above a doorway. Everywhere you look, there's something more to see. Add in the fluid animations and slick slowdown effect when dismembering foes, it's hard to find fault with the Surge's presentation. The gameplay is, well, fantastic. This isn't a hack and slash or brawler. It's a slow and methodical dance that can quickly send you back to the respawn from a single misstep. The combat is deliberate. You have to be decisive, reacting to the enemies and choosing the right time to strike. Do you go for another hit in that combo, or is it best to back off? But it never felt unfair. Anytime I died, it was through my own mistakes and misplays. Did I mistime that attack? Did I get a bit greedy? Yeah, probably. People may be tempted to compare it to Dark Souls, and that's fair in many ways. You return to op centers to act like Dark Souls' bonfires, though there's only one per map area, and you have to corpse run when you die to recover lost resource. Even the combat style and stamina management are similar. But I feel Deck13 did a great job of taking a genre and improving upon it. In combat, successfully landing blows builds energy for your exosuit, which you can then spend on different skills you implant at ops. You choose what implants to use, and in the heat of battle when to use them. But I feel the biggest addition is the ability to target specific limbs. When you target an enemy, you can choose to do extra damage by targeting their unarmored sections. However, you can alternatively target an armored section, and once you've lowered their health enough, finally sever that part from them. And that's how you acquire equipment in the Surge, by hacking it off your enemies. Like the weapon a new enemy is carrying? Lop his arm off and take it. These added layers of strategy add a lot of complexity for battles, and brings a bit of uniqueness to each encounter. One thing Soulsborne veterans may take issue with, though, is the Surge's lack of focus on boss battles, which is fair, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have any. There are some really neat encounters with interesting mechanics that center around focusing certain parts during different phases. In the Surge, they chose to put a lot of emphasis on the smaller enemies that lead up to those bosses, making each enemy a threat to be dealt with and not allowing the player to become complacent. Let Dark Souls be Dark Souls and the Surge be itself. One way it does that is through the A Walk in the Park DLC that I highly recommend you own at the time of your first playthrough. It has you travel to Creo World, a theme park on the corporate campus for employees and their families. It's a nice scenery change and is brilliantly integrated with the main story, taking place midway through the game. It does a great job of fleshing out more of what happened to Creo and the people there, and even your own motivations and backstory. Besides all that, you get to ride a roller coaster. Now, I'm not saying the game is perfect. There are some minor issues here and there. Sometimes, finisher animations can decouple, especially when near a ledge, causing Warren to cut the air in half and look silly doing it. Targeting certain body parts can occasionally be a pain, as the controls are relative to the enemy's positioning, so which direction is right or left changes as you fight. Or sometimes while targeting the head, you want to move to the body, but it keeps going straight to the legs. It could use a few small tweaks here and there, but overall it works as it should. There's also some strange audio crackling that only occurs in the Creo World DLC area. It seems to be caused by some ambient sound that's not playing correctly. It's jarring, irritating, and I doubt it's intended. I also doubt it's particularly good for my speakers. Luckily, it only happens here. My biggest complaint, though, is their bizarre choice to use a folksy country song as the background music in Ops. It's the only song they use, on loop, till the end of time. You spend a decent chunk of the game in Ops, upgrading your gear, powering up your exosuit, and choosing the perfect combination of implants to fit your playstyle. And whether you like it or not, you're going to learn the words to that damn song, and it'll continue to play over and over in your head when you're not even playing. But I guess when your biggest complaint in a game is the choice of a song, that says a lot towards the overall quality of a game. And ultimately, it's a brutal but fair game. The gameplay is engaging, the story compelling. I rate The Surge a 9 out of 10, as it's easily one of the best games I've played all year. And yeah, it's tough, it's challenging, but it's also very rewarding and you can honestly feel yourself improving your play as you progress. In a lot of games, your gear gets better, your character gets stronger, but here the biggest improvement is you, the player. The Surge is a game I feel more people need to play, and I'm genuinely excited to hear that they're working on a sequel. I honestly can't wait, but until then, there's always New Game Plus.